Hello YouTube, I'm Sarah, I'm still Sarah, and this is still the adventures of being Sarah. This is WIP Parade, or whatever you want to call it, number 2, or part 2, not number 2. I'm going to start with what my next projected start, other than, of course, 161, whenever 99 gets done. This will be a WIP soon, people. It's an embellished cross stitch. He's gonna be gorgeous. As I said before, this is one I know I'd stitched. I know I finished because it was on scroll bars, and it's not on scroll bars now. I have absolutely no idea where the original went to. I think there's borrowers or underpants gnomes. I'm not really sure, but this will be coming, people, for the December start. I bet I could finish this before the new year. Ooh, that would be cool. That's over there, isn't it? Yes, it is, Otherberry. So I don't have a picture for you of this one because my pattern is not with the thing. But if you go and look up on the Haid site, Quick Stitch Rose Fairy. Sorry, I had to think about that. And all the pretties. Oh yeah, these are the ones I started thing. Anyway, so this came about because my grandma had passed away. Grandma Kay had passed away, and I wanted to do a memorial piece for her. And I did a memorial piece that went to my sister, which is White Willow's Rose Fly, which is like a butterfly made out of roses, like made out of pieces of roses. It's in the tribal monochromatic section of White Willow if you want to see it. I dyed the fabric like I did the Gay Pride Heart for Jared, which you saw in the last video. And there's not really a whole lot to show you here, and a lot of it's probably not going to show up very well. And again, more tangerine, because tangerine really does show up very well on black. But I'm pretty sure this is like part of her face. But it's a sweet little fairy, and she's got roses surrounding her, and she's got sort of like the tiger, sort of swallow, like the orange butterflies, monarch butterflies, I think. Something like that. It's the orange butterflies, which kind of reminded me of fall and Grandma's garden. She loved roses. So it seemed like a really good tribute piece. I haven't worked on it very much, and I realize now that since Lugana, the 20 count black Lugana is floppy, it really needs a hoop. So, oh, yes, here we go. More flower. I don't usually do a whole lot of flowers, but you don't see that. No, you didn't. Here we go. Another group. Another company that I really like is Shiny Suns Cross Stitching, and we were doing a stitch along in. I don't have when I started this. Oh well. So I decided, since I love irises, that I was going to do the single iris flower. Except I was not going to stitch that on black. I mean, it would be gorgeous on black. Don't get me wrong. It would be absolutely gorgeous. I, however, wanted to use sparkly fabric I found on eBay. I used part of this for an ornament for a friend of mine. But I want to say this is, I can't remember if this is silk weavers or picture of this plus or something, but it's got the opal stuff. But I found that on eBay. So I still have, let's see, I have the spike here and then through here, and I still have to do the stem and the rest of the stem and the rest of that leaf, and then there's like a bud over here. So I guess maybe it's about oh yeah, and I have that much more to do. So it's maybe 2/3 of the way through, because there's a lot of stitching up in there. Yeah, something like that. But I would really like to have this one done because it's so pretty. It's very subtle with the colors, so it might have been better to do this on black. I'm not really sure, but I absolutely love the fabric. The fabric is to die for. Obviously, though, I didn't finish it for that stitch along. I think it was like the New Year's New Start style from a few years ago. And this is going to not cooperate with me. Get in there. In the bag. Behaveth yourself. I have two that I still don't know where they are. One of them is a Hade, which is Quick Stitch Unicorn. Hang on. It is Quick Stitch Unicorn Love, which is just this little tiny picture of unicorn. And I was doing that on, I think on 22 count, with, was it 3 strands for 10th stitch? I don't know, something like that. My shirt is starting to get annoying. Behaveth yourself. The other one is another Shiny Suns, which is the Pomeranian, and it's just a picture of the Pomeranian, the head of a pom, and it's starting to really annoy me that I cannot find them, and I know they're here. I know I did not throw them away, and it's more disturbing with the Pomeranian one because A, it's bigger, and B, I had to actually like order the pattern, like the actual physical pattern, and I made a working copy, and the working copy, of course, is with the pattern. Yes, I is bright. And I thought it was in a bag somewhere, like just stuffed somewhere, and I'm like, I don't see it. So I think I'm going to have to do like a much better like clean out of stuff. I don't know. It's annoying. Although the other one being missing is also very annoying because I could always, I have another copy, another printed off copy of that pattern. I mean, it's a PDF which I had printed. I usually do that. I don't have a tablet. I don't like working electronically. I don't know. I get weirded out by it. No. So, yeah. So this next one, so back to the Pomeranian. I'm probably going to order a second one of them. Of course, I'll find the first one as soon as I do that. I know it started in 2015, and I know it was on 25 count Mushroom Lugana. I want to say Mushroom Lugana. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have a roll of something that looks like Mushroom Lugana. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look because I may just say screw it and order a new pattern and get the floss again and just be like, well, that sucks. And if I find it, I'll stitch it again because Pomeranian. Pommies are awesome. Okay, so back to the WIPS from my Pommy Tangent. This one is a stamped cross stitch, which it actually has a lot of like embroidery stuff on there, but it's really pretty. It's called Floral Harmony. like the grapes are like satin stitch. There's some satin stitch in there. But the magnolias and the instruments, those are cross stitched, which you will see quite easily. I have done grapes. I have done grapes. I guess I was originally intending this to go to, like, I don't know, the music room at Belmont Christian Church, but I have no idea what I'm going to do with it now. I'm not a fan of this needle. It's a poke your eye out needle. Stab a stab. It's very sharp because it's an embroidery needle. But the grapes turned out very pretty. I like the grapes. I do not like how the stamped part looks. I don't like it at all. Because I don't like stamped. I like it when it's done well. Like, if I could stitch it like they have it stitched. Whoever stitched this stamped one is a master. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. So, yeah. I'm not a fan of this particular one. No, get back in there. Purple. Okay, so, yeah, I have no idea if I'm going to go back to that one. I may just be like, hey, you want a stamp cross stitch? I don't know. This one I'll hold to the side in case I have the thingy in here. Probably do. I'm not really sure. Open. Oh no! And I used a peel off base coat, so it may chip off. Ah. There was a series of these years ago, and I still have the first one, the other one that I did, which was the cat was in front of a computer. And I can't remember what it was called. But there were words on the computer, and so I stitched that for my then boss, and I personalized it so it had his name in there, where it said, "If all else fails, call blah blah blah." And he thought that was hilarious. And he moved to a different company, and he took it with him, and he had this whole bank of like photos that he would keep up of his daughters and his wife, and it was really sweet. And he actually put that when he moved to the new office, the new company, he had that in there. And so I used to have a lot of the times in jobs I had this thing where I had to file stuff a lot, which in this last temp job that I had for 3 days, which it was ridiculous, the files that they wanted me to file that were like that thick. I'm like, I can't even pick them up. It actually made my wrists, my hands, my everything hurt. Like, I'm not supposed to, like, I swear they were actually over my, like, weight limit of what I can lift. Because of my knee. Anyway, that can go back in there. Get back in there, Floss. There. So I have all of the cat. So this one's called File This. Hence the, I think I'll have this for me. And I think it's adorable. Ow. That was not adorable. Stab myself with the needle. Oh, that was weird. That was a short piece of my hair. That was weird. Okay. Anyway, so I think they're very cute little patterns. It's like just on the other side. Like this one's a horizontal pattern, like the cat and the everything is on that other side. But I think they're really cute. Some of them I didn't really like as much as others, but some of them I thought were just adorable, like this one. And again, eventually I'll get to it. Back in the bag. No, get in the bag. In the bag. Here is one of the few times that you will see a scroll frame from me. I may take this off the scroll frame and just put the scroll frame away because I don't like using the scroll frame. It's heavy. I don't like it. But I do love the Autumn Angel that I started. Oh, why are you like... There we go. Tighten up your tension, baby. And I don't like this because I had nicked, like part of the wood nicked, and then I glued it with wood glue, and it's annoying. But that's just that one. That's heavy. But yeah, once we've got a lot of it, well, not a lot, but I've got maybe a third done, maybe half, I don't know. I have all the purple done. I know that. I don't know. I kind of think maybe I ought to pull this out and try to get the skirt done or something. I don't know. I mean, as I said, I really would like to see this done, so therefore I really should work on this because otherwise it won't get done. But I really don't like working on the scroll frame. It's heavy. I don't like it. I have a stand too, and I don't like using that. Ah. This one I started in 2001. This one is called Silent Night. It's very battered, but you can still see the... I know I've seen this posted in groups not terribly long ago. And my pattern is kind of battered, and it's been picked up and put down, and blah, blah, blah. I would, of course, really like to be rid of this one. And rid of that, I mean, because it would be finished. This is the one that I got after the dolphin pictures. It was at Walmart at the same time. I don't know if the dolphin one was also designs for the needlework. Sorry, designs for the needle. Wow, I'm all over the place. But I thought that one would go just as fast. This one would go just as fast as that one did. No. And I had taken this to the boy. Oh, bright! Compensate for the dark color. Let there be light. So I had taken this with me when I went to visit the boyfriend, and I worked on this part, and then I had to frog that part, and I had to restitch that part. We were not amused. And occasionally, every so often, I would... Oh, what's that lint doing there? What? You bag, come back here. You can go sit on the floor after... excuse me. After... more lint, or something. After I put you back together with your stuff. But occasionally, I would find this in my stuff and be like, oh, I should work on that. And then I didn't. Oh, I should work on that. It's like being a nail polish. Oh, I should wear that color. I don't want to take this off. Oh, I should wear that color. I'll do this one next. Okay. This was the first tribal that I did, and I obviously have not finished this one, which is the butterfly, of course. And part of it is okay, a lot of the reason why I haven't finished it, come on, let go of the packet of floss. The reason why I haven't finished it is somehow, somewhere, and I blame the fabric, but somehow in there, I have gotten off count. One side is somehow, there's like one stitch or once, I don't know how it's gotten off. It is its own creation. We'll just put it this way. And I'm using Water Lilies by Karen. Let's see, what are you? This is Iris. And it's hard to see, but you can kind of tell there's like a subtle difference. Like this part is slightly more blue and that side, this part's slightly more blue and that one's slightly more violet. Periwinkle and violet. It's really, really pretty. And most people will tell you you have to do one stitch at a time. No, you don't. You most certainly do not have to do one stitch at a time. I'm not doing one stitch at a time. That is not why I've put this down. Which obviously I don't have much more to go. I have the whole bottom end bit. Actually, I have the swoopy bit and the swoopy bit and these little bobbly bits. But somehow in here, I have gotten off somehow, and things just weren't matching up, and I would get disgusted with it. I'm like, I will put you down for a while until I can deal with you. And it's the linen. This is why I'm not a fan of linen. But, I mean, you can see that there's a subtle difference. There is a subtle difference between the rows. And I purposely did that because I wanted a subtle sort of variation. Like here's a good spot. You can kind of see that it goes from this more periwinkle color to a more violet color to a more periwinkle color, and it's not as defined. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing variegated flosses that way. Two of my WIPs are at the boyfriend's, so you won't see them, at least not in this one, because again, he's out of town, so they will stay in his place until January, actually, because he doesn't get back until the end of December. Anyway, so, or was that? Oh yeah, so you'll see those. One of them is the Tribal Cauldron, White Willow's Tribal Cauldron, and I did the bubbles in the, I did that in the rayon satin stuff that DMC has. Excuse me. And I did the cauldron part. I'm doing the cauldron part in all black, which, oh my god, black. 3 strands of black satin. It gets boring after a while. Even though it's a tribal, and those do go quickly if you do the whole go by the motif, which doesn't work quite so well with the tribal butterfly because they're big swoopy things. But you feel like you've accomplished something when you do a swoopy thing. Anyway, and so I got all the little green bubbles. Those have been done for a long time. I'm probably about half done with that one. Then the other one I took down with it was the Tribal Cat that I'm doing in some of the DMC variegated, and that one I am doing individual stitches. The Tribal Otter I'm also doing in individual stitches, but I don't know about the hat. I may do a mixture of both. I have not decided. I have not decided when I'm going to do the hat. Anyway, so the next one, I have absolutely no idea if I don't. This was never meant to go to the church. I might decide to later. I don't know. I haven't decided. But I was like, oh, I like that. It's 14 count, I think. Yes, 14 count black. I've not gotten very far on this. I don't really particularly care for the fabric. I think I have this right side up. I'm not really for sure. Yes, I think I do. I think that is a shoulder. Not entirely for sure, but I think that's a shoulder. Ooh, let there be light. But yeah. So my friend who has the baby with the fish sampler, her husband has been Jesus when they were still at Belmont. Her husband dressed up as Jesus for the Easter thingies when we did like an Easter pageant thingy, and so I jokingly told her, "I'm doing cross stitch of your husband." She thought it was hilarious when she realized it's like, I'm doing Jesus. Just sounds a little weird, but it amused us. Oh, yes. Do not play a drinking game if I have to continue to scratch my nose. This is a Joan Elliott's Garden Geisha. I had seen this one. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I'm not a fan of 14 count that much anymore. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this one I really would like. I think she's gorgeous. I love purple and green and blue. Just can't seem to get into this one. But I will eventually do something with it. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, so this is as far as I've gotten. Yes, that's the needle. And so here's where that parasol, there's that line there. So obviously I have not gotten very far. But once I get, further along, she'll be gorgeous. It's just a matter of making myself stitch this. I had gotten this. That's right. This is one of the few things I've ever gotten from Hobby Lobby. My aunt and uncle on my dad's side got me a gift certificate or a gift card or whatever it was to Hobby Lobby a few years ago. Well, I don't know, 10 years ago? I don't remember. It was a while ago. And so, of course, I decided, since there's not anyone around me, at the time there wasn't, there's eventually going to be one in Blacksburg or Christiansburg or something like that. I don't know. And we're not going to go into the politics or whatever, because at the time I didn't know anything about that either way. But so I was like, oh, hey, it's got that Joan Elliott you like. Come on, behave yourself. So yeah. So eventually I'll get back to that one. I only say that a lot. So this one. This is my working copy because I didn't really feel like toting around a magazine. But this was in the June 2003 cross stitcher, and it's a little hard to tell from the photocopy of this, but it's supposed to have a name and the date for it's a Unity candle. I don't remember when I started this. 2004, 2005, something like that. This is the second one that I've started because I thought it was a great idea. We can see how far I've gotten. All of that. There's all the beads and the other beads and some more beads and some antique beads. Because I thought it was a great idea to sell these. I didn't realize how annoying it would be to try to mass produce them. So, plus then it's like, well, wait a minute, you really shouldn't be doing that. You know, you don't really have permission to try to, you know, mass market them or whatever. But of course, you know, this is me, so of course I went in and got a whole bunch of stuff for it because I was gonna do it. It's a lot more work than I thought. No. It's gorgeous when it's done because there's all kinds of, what is that? There's beads all throughout there. You can kind of see the line of beads that go around the outline. That's the Platinum Rose Mill Hill Antique Glass Bead. And then you can kind of see the little, like, diamonds or whatever. Those are little gold ones. It's really pretty. I'm not going to try to mass produce them. No. However, I would like to finish the one I started, because then it will be pretty, and then I will just leave the names off them, and who knows? I might just leave the names off them. So it's not a commemorative thing, either. Then I could just loan it out to people who want to use it. That's a thought. And so I guess I have, I don't know, there was something on there. I guess I have several sheets of plastic canvas. Okay. Of course, this is going to be difficult and not one. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. It's over here. There we go. The next one I have is another little kit that I actually did this once. And then I thought my grandma had lost it. It has this cute little pink frame that came with it. I saw that somewhere. Oh, like I came across the pink frame the other day. And then I found other ones that are like this that will go with this. So, of course, you know, I'm like, oh, sure. No idea if I'm going to stitch them, but at least I have them. So I had thought I had lost that, and I know I had done it. I had finished it. But then I couldn't find it, and I assumed that Grandma had, there had been something where they couldn't find stuff that Grandma had supposedly started to wash or whatever. I don't know. It's a thing. Why is there a piece of fluffy fur? I don't know. Anyway, more fuzzies. Why do the fuzzies get everywhere? Anyway, so I restarted this stupid thing. I mean, it's not a stupid thing, but I restarted this stupid thing. And then I found my original. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to need two of them. I'm like, well, I've already started this one. So I gave the original stitch piece to my friend Stephanie's little girl. And of course, she thought that was the best thing since sliced bread. So I'm like, cool. So I'll have another winged Pegasus. It's not a winged unicorn. Or, no, it is. It's a winged unicorn. It's not a winged Pegasus. It's not a unicorn. It's a winged unicorn. Thank you very much. Golden Bee. And again, I have no idea when I will work on that. But it'll eventually get worked on. Maybe. I don't know. I usually do whatever I feel like doing. This is a large one. Okay. Let's see what he's saying. Helps if you remember to put a word. And there we go. Sorry, that was the boyfriend letting me know he was gonna go get some sleep and try and get up in the morning because he has to catch a flight. So, as I was saying, that is not the picture. Technical difficulties. Memento. Here is the picture. I know there's a picture here. Sorry. Okay, so this was a stitch along, which I didn't realize was going to be as big as it is, but it's huge. Do I not have a picture of this? Okay, this is just annoying. Oh, come on. I have to have a picture somewhere. I thought this was a picture, but this is not the picture. No, that's not the picture. Dang it. Pattern piece, pattern. Oh, for crying in the mud. Oh, that's just lovely. Stupid paper clip thingy. Anyway, it's for a now defunct cross-stitch company that was called each.X, X-I-T-C-H, and they had some really, really nice art that they did, but then the designer decided it was just too much work, and it was just too much. And this was supposed to be a stitch along where we would get like 1 page a week or something like that, and I'm like, looking back, I'm like, that's slightly delusional to think I could do that. But the artwork is Sebra, S-E-A-B-R-A, and it was called The Moon. And I may have a picture on here, but it was really pretty. It's this, it's all in blue, and it looks, to me, it looks like a dwarf, blonde dwarf with braids, and she's sort of, aha, ha ha. Now we will see if this will work. You can kind of see her. But you can kind of see that. No, come back here. She's got like this moon behind her, and she's got this lovely floaty veil type thing, and she's in. It almost looks like a nightgown. Yeah. For my very crappy phone. She's going to be absolutely ginormous. She is 447 stitches wide by 728. I am doing her on 25 count over 1 with a crap ton of floss that just fell out in my lap. Doing 10 stitch. This is the whole piece of fabric. I start things in the bottom right a lot of the times. I had started this because, I'm like, oh, I guess I have to start this. It was late, but hey, I started it. Like, here's the bottom of her veil thing. And I got some done on her recently. Of course, I'm like, man, I should work on her. She's not a Disney princess. Stop it. But the reason why I was like, ooh, I really ought to work on her is because she's an NPC in my game. In my game, she is known as Falga Ingotsdaughter, and she in the NPC Falga Ingotsdaughter, who's a cleric of Bolka, who is also one of the only clerics of Bolka, because all the dwarves have to be clerics of Torah. Whatever. She can do what she wants. Bolka is the Pathfinder dwarven goddess of love and beauty, kind of like Aphrodite, but in dwarf. She's supposed to be the most beautiful of all the dwarven goddesses, and the men just fall over drooling. I don't know. It's a thing. Anyway, so of course I was like, I want to play a goddess. I want to play a cleric of Bolka, because me being me, I don't want to do things that are normal. So I had never played her, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Hey, love interest for the half dwarf, half tiefling. It's like a really tall dwarf with a tail. Who is the party rogue? Oh, hey, here's Milena. I just found her. I couldn't remember if I found her or not. And of course, the pattern's being a butt. Okay, so my poor little battered fabric can just sit over there. So, I of course like to find character pictures that are cross stitch, and then of course I have to get the character. Then I have to get said character picture as a cross stitch chart and stitch it. I have a problem, I guess. I don't know. But this one, I decided, I want to say this is also in a full-size one, but I decided to go with the, what they call the Faces version, which is Faces Lilac Magic, and there's a lot of, obvious skin. And of course I don't have a picture of the full-size one, but she's got like a staff, and she looks kind of hot emo chick rangery, sort of, or possibly druid. I don't know. She's got a moon tattoo or something like that. According to my DM and fellow players, she was supposed to be like 6 something, like 6 feet something. I'm like, no, Milena's only 5'6". Thank you very much. Like I guess they thought she looked like an Amazon. I'm like, no. No, she's only 5'6". Thank you very much. She's very short for a half-orc. And you're like, what? This is a half-orc? No, I'm not doing her in green. I'm doing her in the regular skin tones that are in this. There's skin tones and stuff in there. There's also a lot of purples. Purples and grays and skin tones. Because I've played her 3 times, and the feat has been grandfathered in each time as Veiled Vileness. There's a feat that Pathfinder had come out with in beta testing called Veiled Vileness, and you don't get as much grr factor as like from a regular half-orc, but you can pass easier for human. And her story really backed that up. Her story was that there was a family curse, and basically it started when one of her ancestresses was captured by a black dragon and tortured for a while. She was the plain one. And so she was able to somehow amuse it enough to not eat her. And she eventually escaped, and she was pregnant with the black dragon's child, and she basically hid the dragon portion. And yes, I'm kind of ripping on some other storylines from other books and things like that. Anyway, and there was a curse on the family where you would have usually 2 daughters. One would be absolutely gorgeous, but would have some sort of mental instability. Usually they would end up doing bad things to themselves. And then you would have the plainer ones who would go on to get married and have children. Usually there wouldn't be any boys. If they were, they usually were dead ends for one reason or another. Maybe they would die in childhood. Whatever it was. And so Melena's mom had been invited to go study with the witches of Irizian, and she never made it that far because she strayed too far into the Velxen Hold, which that is land of orcs. And you can kind of guess what probably happened, which is how we get half-orcs. And so she used all of her magic to make Melena look human. And she is a kick-ass ranger, and her backstory is that she was raised by a foster family, and her foster father was a paladin with 0 sense of humor at all. And she got together with one of the paladin recruits, Alfred, who is very large for a human. He's probably 6'6", 250 pounds, very, very beefy guy. And, well, that, of course, disgraced the family because you're living under my roof. You have to blah, blah, blah. So she moved in with her boyfriend, and then they had a miscarriage, and she couldn't stay there. So she goes off adventuring to try to find a place in the world. And then, well, Alfred was like, I got to go find this chick because I need to be with her. So he went off and followed her around. And so then I was like, okay, as an NPC in my game, this is 2 years later after when she was played the last time, they didn't believe that I was rolling that well with the D12 that I was rolling. I'm like, no, seriously, I didn't cheat or anything with this. It just rolled 3 12s in a row. She's very good with her great axe. Anyway, so by this time in her storyline, she has Alfred has found her, and they got back together, and they did have a child together, Edmund, who is a half-orc, a visible half-orc, and so they are now NPCs in my game. She has a honey badger as an animal companion. Her honey badger is Now I can't think of the honey badger's name. It's one of the wives of Londo Mollari, the T-Moth. That's that. That's who it is. Anyway, so back to this. You can kind of see her face. So yes, that was my very long, drawn-out story of why this specific one is important. And again, I really would like to get this one stitched because I love Milena. She has a tattoo shop, or she was supposed to have a tattoo shop. Anyway, but she's also one of my PC's Pastor John, his cousin on his dad's side. A few more, and then I'll do a third video. Yeah, looks like I'll have to do a third video. So this one is another Bucelia, whatever. It's called Madonna and Child. I saw this in Hirschner's, and I thought that the lilies at the bottom were absolutely gorgeous, and I love the colors. And it's on this beautiful sort of mushroomy, doesn't say, but it's kind of a mushroomy color of Ada. I'm not terribly thrilled with the stiffness or whatever. But look at the cards. The cards of floss. So pretty. And then there's some sparkly stuff. Some gold. And some iridescent. It's very pretty. I haven't gotten as far as I would like. I would like, of course, this one done. Because but it'd be a nice vertical piece. I like vertical pieces like this. I don't know why. I like landscape, like thin landscape, not landscape, it's thin portrait, not landscape orientation. I have no idea why. For some reason, I like it. So you can see that down here, there's this section. And eventually this would be really nice to have all done. I think the gold is mostly done in outlines. There's like an outline around here and around, of course, there. And then I think the pearlescent stuff is done in there. I think that's where it is. But I think this is so pretty. Once it gets done, it's going to be stunning. I'm just not actually really a fan of a lot of up and down counting. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't like that. And then we have Fragile's Girlfriend. I like to call it Fragile's Girlfriend. Which Story Cute Fragile's now on that wall, so I'm not going to turn you around because there's a bunch of stuff over there. But this is Little Snapdragon by Custom Crafts. This is really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. It was darling, and I had found this piece on eBay, this piece of fabric, but it absolutely reeked, so I decided to try to wash it and use it for something. Well, it's going to be really close down here. Like, really close. Like, I don't know. I think I'll have to sew some sort of fabric on there. But, I mean, there's enough up here because the spray goes that way. But it's really pretty. Or I may just not do the last little bits of the, that's the part that's the problem. Because the tail is about done. It's only a couple of more rows. And I'm doing this over 2, which might have been the problem. But she's adorable. Her little precious self. all these blues and greens and purples and stuff. And again, I really ought to do this one. I hope you're not using that as a drinking game, because you'd be dead. Like, if you did that every time I either sniffed or sneezed or whatever, or said, I really need to do this one, you'd be dead. So don't do that. So again, it's a nice little pattern. It's only 24 colors. See? 24 colors. I kind of wish I had added, like, I don't know, green blending filming or something to it. I don't know. Something like that. I'll do one more and then I'll cut this off and we'll do a part 3. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'll just cut this off here. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next video of part 3. So, okay, bye.